Hey everyone, Steven from Straight Fire Picks. We got best bets for NFL Week 4 on Sunday, October 2nd, 2022. We're going to have NFL player props, spreads, over-unders, money lines here for you today. We're going to have 4 picks that make a great value bets for this Sunday NFL slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support here on the channel. If you're new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Reminder here at the channel, guys, that we are partnered with Prize Picks, so be sure to use our code SFP for a 100% deposit match and your first deposit up to $100 on Prize Picks. You can also use one of our links that we have down below in the comment section and in the description. Really is a great app, guys, that specialize in player props and things of that nature. You put multiple picks into an entry to win a lot of money. Really is a lot of fun to use. Highly encourage you to check it out. Like I said, use our code SFP for that 100% deposit match or one of our links that we have down below. Be sure to also check out our community Discord page as well. Great place to connect with our community, to get new ideas for bets, to chat about sports. Really is a great resource as well. It's absolutely free. Be sure to check that out. We'll have that in the comment section and the description as well. Be sure to also drop your favorite pick down below in the comment section. If you like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in the video if it hits. Okay, now it's time for a shout out to our Straight Fire MVPs. So you see this beautiful list here running beside me of all of our Straight Fire MVPs. If you're interested in becoming a Straight Fire MVP, there is a join button down below. We'll also have a link in the comment section and the description. It's a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel. It's just $3.99 per month. You get access to our picks early, you get a badge next to your name, some custom emojis, shout outs on our videos, and a roll color in the Discord. And like I said, it's just a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the results from the previous episode. So we're going over the results from last Sunday's afternoon games. We had a terrible episode, guys. It was absolutely catastrophic. We ended up going 0-5. We had 5 picks last week. We had Allen Robinson, anytime touchdown score. He dropped an easy touchdown on the first drive of the game. It was like a little bubble screen. Would have been a walk-in touchdown. Literally hit him right here, right at the goal line as he's led him into the end zone. Dropped it. No reason. It would have been a free touchdown. We had Tom Brady under 249.5 passing yards. He had 190 passing yards with about 2 minutes left in the game. And then they started with the ball at the 11-yard line. You know the rest. He drove the length of the field for the would have been tying score, but they needed a 2-point conversion. So he ended up finishing with like 270. So that was another nasty beat. We had the Chiefs minus 5.5 spread. They committed about every mistake you could think of. Missed field goals, missed extra point, fumble inside their own 5. I mean, they did a lot of stupid things, a lot of drops, all sorts of. It was just bad. Then we had the under 23 in the Bengals-Jets game. That one really was just a straight loss. And there's nothing really to say about that. You know, Bengals hit their plays, and that one just missed. And the Bears and the Texans under 40.5 ended up finishing with 43. It was 20-20 late. I was hoping the game would end at a tie, and of course, Texans, I believe, either fumbled or threw a pick, and then the Bears got the winning field goal. So what can you do? We're going to get back after it today, though, guys. We're going to get this 4-0 sweep. Quick note I have to say about our picks. I did put up notes earlier in the day for our picks for tonight. We did remove one of the picks. We ended up canceling one of the bets, which was the Detroit Lions -4 spread. Found out later in the day when they released their final injury report from Friday that Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and their kicker are out. I was almost willing to go with the idea of St. Brown and Swift, but then when I saw their kicker out too, I'm like, no, that's just horrible. That's just a really bad feel. So we're not going to play that one. The spread still remained about the same. So if you happen to take that pick early, which I didn't see a lot of interaction on the member side of thing with that, I would just cash out of that. Honestly, I would not play that at this point. I was playing out the idea of at least one of the two playing and Seibert, and none of that's going to happen. So still think the Lions could cover, but I would not trust it. But let's get after it today, guys. Let's get this 4-0 sweep. So let's get right into our picks here. At number 1, we are going with the Dallas Cowboys -3 spread here versus the Washington Commanders -110 odds on FanDuel. Guys, this one is one I absolutely love here this week. I was thinking about it last week before the line even came out, and it was a very favorable line for us here. Cowboys here, guys, 9-3 their last 12 games versus the Commanders, 5-1 in the last 6 games versus the Commanders at home. On the season so far, Cowboys being led by their defense. Cowboys defense 9th in yards, 8th in points. Very good. Top 10 in both. Commanders defense on the other side, not so good. 27th in yards allowed, 28th in points allowed. They have not been very good. And Cooper Rush for the Cowboys, guys, continues to be absolutely underrated. He's getting disrespectful lines just about every week. They were plus 7.5 versus the Bengals. We cashed that one. They were an even money bet against the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. We cashed that one. Here they're just 3-point favorites at home versus the lowly Commanders. We're going to get ready to cash this one. So far, we're 2-0 on the Cowboys the last couple weeks. I'm anticipating we're going to go 3-0 here, guys. I believe in Cooper Rush right now. I think he's playing great football. I had a chance to watch him Monday night. His numbers could have been a lot better than what they were. There were a lot of drop passes in that game from his receivers. I thought his decision-making, his pocket presence, and things like that was absolutely great. And I think that'll continue here against the Commanders team that honestly just looks blah. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Their defense looks blah. Their offense looks blah. I don't know how else to say it. They don't look good. The Cowboys technically are only 23rd in yards, 30th in points, but I mean, they only had 3 in week 1 with Dak, and then Cooper Rush came in. Last couple weeks they've won and honestly played pretty good. So those yards and points aren't really indicative of what they're doing right now. Commanders 19th in yards, 12th in points. But again, a lot of that came, there was a lot of points and yards that came in the second half of that Lions game where the Lions started backing off a little bit. And honestly, guys, the Cowboys here, just by the trends, are also a terrific player. They're 15-6 against the spread since the start of 2021. They're one of the best spread teams in the NFL. Commanders just 8-11-1 against the spread since the start of 2021. If you look at the power rankings, for what you make of that, Cowboys right now 13th in the power rankings, Commanders 30th. So it gives you an idea about the disparity between the two teams right now, and even what the NFL thinks about them. It's NFL.com power rankings. And honestly, I'd say that's about right. When I look at that, I'm like, okay, I can get down with that. Like that's how I feel about the two teams. I think there's a big talent disparity. There's a big team disparity right now between the Cowboys and Commanders. So I think 3 points at home doesn't make any sense. Of course, the books are always sneaky. But I can keep throwing stats at you all day in favor of the Cowboys. I really could. Trends, stats, everything pretty much. But at the bottom line is, Cowboys are playing much better football right now. They got the quarterback that's playing much better. I trust them way more than Carson Wentz. So, do love it there, guys, for our number 1 pick. We're going Dallas Cowboys -3 spread here versus the Commanders. -110 odds on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 2, we are going with Mitchell Trubisky, under 215.5 passing yards. Here are for the Pittsburgh Steelers at -113 odds on BetRivers. So far, Trubisky, guys, is actually 3 out of 3 so far to this line on the season, which I love to see that. Steelers right now with Trubisky at the helm ranking 31st in pass yards per attempt at 5.5. So they have not been throwing the ball very well at all. And honestly, even some of Trubisky's deeper throws you saw George Pickens make that great catch that everyone's been raving about. Well, what's the one thing you could say about that as well? Really wasn't a great thrown football, was it? If you got to make a catch like that, your quarterback didn't really hit you on the numbers, right? So, that's been kind of the thing with Trubisky. If you get him rolling out, he can have a really nice intermediate passing game type of thing. But as far as relying on him to hit deep shots and stuff like that, I wouldn't rely on him to hit deep shots. I really wouldn't. Like I said, averaging just 5.5 yards per attempt. You've seen some of the highlights. Steelers players really have to want the ball. I mean, it's one of those things where Trubisky's deep game, I just don't trust it right now. Actually, the New York Jets are actually very improved in the secondary this season. They added a lot of pieces in the offseason. They added Sauce Gardner, one of the best corners coming out of college. He actually didn't allow a touchdown in his time at college. I did not know that before researching this. Absolutely incredible when you think about it, and he's a great corner. They have Reed back there and Whitehead in the secondary that they added in the offseason as well. Both very good. And they're, so far ranked 15th as far as pass yards allowed. They did allow some big plays last week to the Bengals, but I don't think the Steelers have that big play potential, right? They really don't. They don't have the downfield. They're more of a quick, short passing team, and I'm expecting that to continue. I'm expecting them to run the football. Honestly, it's just going to be an ugly football game. I really do. This has got all the makings for just an ugly 9-6 game between the Steelers and the Jets. This would be, I believe, Zach Wilson's first start. So this could be some really ugly football going on in Pittsburgh. So we'll see what happens. But I think, honestly, I think Tomlin's to the point where, he's hearing a lot of rumblings about Trubisky and, should he start Kenny Pickett? I think he's going to rely on his running game. We can trust Najee Harris. He's a star running back. Expect him to get a lot of touches this game, even though the Jets' run defense has been pretty good, actually, too. But like I said, secondary much improved, and just not trusting Trubisky. And at some point, maybe he does get replaced, but who knows what happens as far as that goes. But do love it there, guys, for our number 2 pick. We're going Mitchell Trubisky, under 215.5 passing yards here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, minus 113 odds on BetRivers. Okay, and at number 3, we are going with the Las Vegas Raiders, team total under 23.5 points, plus 100 odds on BetMGM. So I love the plus value here, guys. We actually have perfect trends here on both sides, meaning the Raiders have gone under this mark in every game so far this season in 3 games, going under 23.5 in all 3. And the Broncos have not allowed a team to score over 23.5 points in all 3 as well. And on the Broncos side, it hasn't even been close. They're allowing an average of just 12 points per game. That's second in the NFL. Their defense has been lights out, as advertised. They're third in yards allowed as well. So his defense has been very stingy. And right now, the chemistry between, the Raiders offensively right now with Josh McDaniels taking over as head coach hasn't been quite what people expected. You got Devontae Adams there, you got Josh Jacobs, you got Darren Waller, you got all these pieces, and they've kind of been underperforming. And honestly, I don't see them getting right against a team like the Broncos. Broncos have a terrific defense. That's what they're going to have, I believe, all year. And I'm looking for them, honestly, to make some stops as far as in the versus the Raiders here. They held them to 17 points last year in their matchup in Vegas, so that was last year's Raiders, who were cooking much better offensively than they are right now anyway. Raiders are 11th in points per game, which doesn't sound too bad. 18th in yards per game, very average. But when you kind of look at it, last week they woke up a little bit there in the second half versus the Titans, but they've been kind of out of sync. Cards with 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 60% completions. That's very average numbers. There's nothing exciting about those numbers at all. And honestly, like I said, I'm not looking for that really to change in this game, honestly. And I think so far, if you guys have had a chance to watch the Broncos play, you'll know that they've just played some really ugly football. They're lucky to be 2-1. The reason they're 2-1 is mostly because of their defense. They've been in some really ugly football games. So I'm honestly anticipating we could see another one of those. Run it back on the Broncos playing ugly football. I think we could see that again. Low scoring game, honestly, and definitely keeping the Raiders under, though. I think their defense will live up to the hype. Expect them to keep rolling here. So do love it there for our number 3 pick. We're going Las Vegas Raiders, team total under 23.5 points here, plus 100 odds on BetMGM. Okay, and finally at number 4, really love this one, guys. This one was popping off the page, and for plus value again. We're going Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions here for the Baltimore Ravens at plus 105 odds on DraftKings. So we know Mark Andrews, the undisputed centerpiece of the passing game for the Baltimore Ravens as far as catching the football. He's gone over in 2 out of 3 games so far this season and landed on the hook with 5 in the other game. But his targets are off the chain. He's got 13, 11, and 7 targets respectively in those 3 games. So he's had 31 targets this year in 3 games. That's over 10 targets per game. That means if he gets 10 targets this game, how many passes does he need to catch? Just 60% of his targets. That's something I can live with. That's something I think we'll get him to hit 60%. So if he can get 10 targets, which I think there's a good chance he could. I mean, the Bills here coming up, pretty banged up on the defensive side, right? That's kind of the story right now with Buffalo. Not really all sure what you're going to get out of their defense. Obviously inside with Jordan Phillips banged up. Micah Hyde out for the season. Jordan Poyer was out last week. He's listed as questionable for this game. Dane Jackson still listed as questionable. So they got a lot of players banged up here on the Bills. I think Andrews here, I think he can still have a good game. I think regardless of any defense he plays, I think he'll have a great opportunity to make some receptions. We saw Tyler Higbee, when the Rams played the Bills in Week 1, the Bills were at full strength. He still caught 5 passes. And Higbee is not anywhere near the tight end that Andrews is. And Higbee still, I believe was second on the team in receiving that day. So I still think tight ends could do work here against the Bills. Look at the numbers. I mean, the Bills have been great against the pass, but here I think Andrews could get the receptions that we need. I think 6 is a pretty low amount, especially for how many targets this guy gets and how many receptions he gets. He gets 36% of all the Baltimore Ravens targets. That's insane. 39% of the receptions. That's absolutely insane when you think about it. He gets a very high target share count. So, do love it there, guys. Though for our number 4 pick, we're going Mark Andrews over 5.5 receptions here for the Baltimore Ravens, plus 105 odds on DraftKings. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Guys, I appreciate all of your support here at the channel. We're going to have another video coming out tonight for Sunday Night Football. So we have a little bit of a different setup this week. I wasn't able to get a video out on Friday, so this video will be out. This video obviously coming out Saturday morning. We'll also have another video coming out Saturday night for Sunday Night Football separate for that. Finally, I turned things around a little bit. Went 2-1 Monday night, 2-1 on Thursday night. We had a terrible Sunday last week. Really put a wrench in what we were trying to do on the season. Otherwise, we'd be sitting pretty solid right now, but that Sunday really put us out of whack, so we're recovering still from that. So hoping for some good results here. I really love the plays. Get some plus value here. May look to add a few plays in. I wanted to get really six or seven plays in, but due to time, I wasn't able to do quite as much. And obviously, if I'm going to put a play out, I got to do a lot of research on it. So if I'm able to do some more research, I may put some more plays out on our in our community tab or on our Twitter. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter as well. May add some plays, so I will let you guys know if we do that. Appreciate all of you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you all next time. Peace out.